I'm reading from what I meant to say was item 38, Living and Dying by the Sword. How blessed are the peacemakers! God shall call them his sons. Matthew 5:9. Dulce et decorum est pro patria mori. It is sweet and honorable to die for one's country. I read this poem by Wilfred Owen to my class one morning in preparation for Remembrance Day. In it, Owen describes graphically the horror of transporting a mortally wounded comrade from the battlefield in a wagon, watching the agony in his twisted face at every bump, hearing the gurgling of his final attempts to breathe. He concludes with a passionate declaration that no one who has witnessed that agony can go on telling battle-eager youngsters that old lie. Dulce et decorum est pro patria mori. I read them 4 or 5 other poems as well. They were dead quiet. I don't think they'd ever been read to from poetry text as a means of learning anything other than the poetry itself. I'd found a few more about the horrors of war, and also some about the noble soldier who dies doing the best thing a person can do, namely, giving up his life for his friends. And there have been quite a few Remembrance Days, Memorial Days since then. It's rather sad to see how the veterans are so very old, so poignantly anachronistic in their faded berets, their medals displayed now on weakened and wheezing chests. Soon the company of Allied soldiers who actually bore arms in battle will be small indeed, God willing, unless another major war breaks out. I actually wrote this line before Canada became involved in a combat mission in Afghanistan. Today, March 2009, we are producing war veterans apace, and around 110 Canadian military personnel have died on the battlefields around Kandahar. But for now, it seems that their dwindling numbers threaten us with a loss. Maybe it's only the loss of a memory. And to hear their cracked but fervent voices appealing for us to remember fills us with ambivalence. We know we cannot and will not remember the faces of their fallen comrades because we never knew them. At the same time, the last thing we wish for our children is that they will hold a picture of some massive, bloody slaughter in their minds like a nightmare. What it is we need most to remember, we must be taught. It is the chain of events that has led to the wars themselves. It's that sequence of sins of omission and sins of commission which have made it necessary, supposedly, to take up weapons in defense of freedom, in defense of territory, in defense, in some cases, of something as ethereal as a political ideology. If we could remember that each war is built brick by brick, usually over many years with the mortar of arrogance and misunderstanding, and the complicity of the public in the self-seeking politics of power and economic gain, then Remembrance Days might well become days worth commemorating. Not that we should forget that thousands died, saving us and others like us from the horror of these mistakes. If only it were given to us to die instead in their prevention.